Okay, it says, Psalm 100, verse 5, in the New King James Version, it says, "For the Lord is good, His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endures to all generations." I want to define two things real quick. First, I want to define, and we're gonna give simple definitions, okay? And throughout this message, I just want to give a bunch of definitions. It's not gonna be up there, but if you can follow with me, just first two definitions is, the first word is worship. If you were to give worship a simple definition, something that we can all understand, people of all ages would understand, we would say that worship is the acknowledgement of God and His power and glory in everything we do. Right? It is the acknowledgement of God and all His power and glory in everything we do. That's why we always define worship, or we always say that worship is a lifestyle. Right? It's the way you live. The way you live everything you do in your day-to-day, or as Mark would like to say, the everyday, the mundane, right? The daily routine of life. God should be acknowledged for who He is, for His power and glory in everything. But how do we define now? The second word is thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is the expression of gratitude. Right? Obviously, right? You're expressing thanks, expressing gratitude. But I like how this dictionary, this website defined it. It didn't stop there. It says that thanksgiving is an expression of gratitude, but then it said, especially to God. And so, right, so in everything, and no matter what situation we're in, if we have a thankful heart towards God, if we express our gratitude towards God, that means we're acknowledging God, right? We're acknowledging that, God, You are powerful, You are there, and I will glorify You in everything I do, and no matter what situation I am. And so we can conclude by defining worship and defining thanksgiving, that thanksgiving is worship. And so my point is, if you forget any other part of the message, is that a heart of thanksgiving is so essential in a believer's life of worship. That for every believer, your life of worship, we should be able to see thanksgiving in there. We should be able to see in every heart of a Christian the heart of gratitude. First off is, it says that for the Lord is good. Simply meaning well-pleasing, fruitful, morally correct, or proper. God's goodness never, ever changes. We cannot lessen the gravity of God's goodness. God is always well-pleasing. God is always fruitful. God is always morally correct and proper. Mercy that is everlasting. If we were to define, again, we were to define the word mercy, simply, we could put it as God withholding the punishment that we deserve as sinners by nature, but instead bestows upon you blessings. When we're talking about everlasting, that God's mercy is everlasting, not only does it denote for us to look in the future, but it also to look back. That in the past that we can see God's mercy, that in the present we can see God's mercy, and in the present we will see and experience God's mercy. And His truth endures to all generation. I don't know what situation you're in. I don't know what challenges you're facing. But when it's the hardest, and the challenges that you're facing now, when it's hard to trust God in those challenges, trust Him. There's no other way to say it. Trust Him, even if trusting Him seems the hardest thing to do. Trust Him that He is still good. Trust Him that He's still merciful, and that God's hand is still at work. And so when we are thankful to God every moment of our lives, day to day, every hour, every minute, it's actually an invitation, an opportunity to draw closer to God. And so, if you haven't been thankful to God in a long time or this past week, take this time today, be thankful to God. Because being thankful to God is an opportunity to draw closer and nearer to Him. So be thankful, man. Be thankful. Thanksgiving is worship.